Was John Calvin truly a Casuist? Written by Daniel Krynicki on December 28, 2017. Council of Nice, 325 AD. Upon reading Samir Sheikh's The Anatomy of Usury, page 22, I was led to investigate Canon 17 from the Council of Nice, AD 325. Samir's interpretation for Canon 17 is accurate, but a 1994 printing of Ecclesiastical History by Eusebius Pamphilus out of Baker Book House Company, Grand Rapids, Michigan, does not show Canon 17 at the end. It did, however, show both Canon 16 and 18. This translation of ecclesiastical history and the canons agreed upon at Nice AD 325 was accomplished by Isaac Bull. Why was Canon 17 missing in this publication? It certainly exists, and is included in other reproductions of the Council. After going online to the HathiTrust Digital Library, I discovered a multitude of books that write about the First Council of Nice. A most interesting selection was published AD 1900, MDCCC, at Oxford by James Parker and Company, and at New York by the Christian Literature Company. It was digitized by Internet Archive from a set owned at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. This particular volume 14 contains sections about the first 7 ecumenical councils. At the end, there are 5 indexes according to types of search criteria. It has a comprehensive section on the First Nicene Council. In this volume, we find all Michael Hoffman's information about the first 1500 years of Christian doctrine on usury verified, including the fact that mere interest in money lending and usury were never regarded separately until John Calvin introduced his own casuistry. We have below herein some analysis about usury from an Oxford scholar, circa 1900, about the Council of Nice, Canon 17. He provides readers with comparative analysis on the subject of usury from past times, when money lending was mostly conducted in private transactions, and when the money lent already existed as gold or silver coin. The title of a brief discussion following Canon 17 of the Council of Nice is Excursus on Usury. Images from this book and definitions follow this page. It appears that, quote, inroad, unquote, or, quote, digression, unquote, are 2 words suitable for the heading of Excursus on Usury, and the analysis given at the end of Canon 17 of Volume 14. The reader will notice this title on the page 3 image we have shown for page 36 of Volume 14. The writer of Excursus on Usury provided many historical references in which all interest in money lending was expressly prohibited. Not only did the Christian Church prohibit it, but pagan scholarly sources argued against it as well. For these pro-usury and against usury arguments, he also cites references. But above all, the pros and cons he presented in his Excursus on Usury, he was not privy to the broader view we have in American history today on the widespread practice of bank credit, in which banks create new money as debt in every loan transaction. In other words, bank credit as we know it today is not a mutium loan like those that occurred in the first millennium of Christianity, when money like gold or silver coin in any loan transaction actually already existed and was in possession of lenders before it was lent. His conclusion that presents more relaxed views, not his, but from others, of mutually consensual money lending and borrowing therefore cannot be applied to modern money lending such as bank credit. His casuistry indictment of Calvin stands as excellent scrutiny, even though he may not have known of bank credit. Calvin may not have understood a bank credit loan using the 2-column ledger as we modernly use. Do read past Calvin. Others followed relaxing the interdiction, but Hoffman pointed out in his Usury in Christendom that a Vatican usury bank was begun by Leo X in 1515, when Calvin was just a stripling. And neither the author of Excursus on Usury nor moratory had the ability to peer into a future in which ledger credit could be issued as lawful money at a national level by a publicly chartered government agency whose expenditures are all paid for with legal tender currency emissions. Greenbackers contended for this late in the 19th century. In other words, if currency and credit can be issued interest-free as lawful money, and as a function of government that is instituted, quote, of, for, and by the people, unquote, then the charging of all interest in money lending is not just unnecessary, we consequently have reason enough to outlaw all interest in money lending. We should expect that an omniscient God already knew all this 35 centuries ago.